What's up, everybody? It's your boy SEADUB here, coming at y'all, bringing you a good topic for today, guys. This is something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and we're going to get down into it, guys. Today's topic is that a prophet is not loved in his own hometown. That's something that Jesus said and was actually recorded by all four of the apostles in the Bible. I'm not here to speak on religious texts or content or anything like that. I believe, whatever religion you choose to follow is great, and even if you have the lack of one, that's fine as well. I'm totally accepting of people's beliefs, but that's just a quote that's expanding onto something greater, guys, and I'm going to dive off into it. So people being completely familiar with you breeds contempt and skepticism. So if people have known you your whole life, they've watched you grow up and stuff, that familiarity builds contempt and skepticism, right? Because people know the humble beginnings that you come from, and they've watched all your childhood mistakes over the years. And I'm no stranger to sitting here and saying that I've made mistakes, guys. I've been down a whole bunch of different pathways in life, and sometimes I'll get to going down one path and decide that's not right for me and shift off into the other. And what that means is if you're doing all that in one place, guys, when you figure out what's special for you and what your place is in life, that you believe you want to go down onto, people aren't going to believe you for it, right? Because they've seen all of your past struggles and where you came from. So that familiarity with you, builds that contempt and skepticism. They've got contempt because they feel like, you're probably not capable of the things that you're doing or trying to doing. And then the skepticism is there because they don't believe in you after seeing everything else you've done over time. Jesus faced the rejection directly from his people in the town that he was from. I'm not sure the specific town, I just know the story. But they say that that's part of why he couldn't perform his miracles there, is that nobody believed in him where he was at. And if people don't believe in you, they're not going to give you an opportunity to show them what you're good at. I've actually lived in the same city my entire life, spare from a couple months of living away, and even away was just like 2 hours away, and that was kind of a part-time thing, a really weird time in my life that I had to navigate. But other than that, I've spent my entire life in the same place, the same city. Over the past couple of years, I've really felt like my talents and skills would be far better utilized somewhere else. And it's just something that I've had to deal with. It makes it tough because, I'm in a situation where I'm running my own gym here. So I've got a couple people that depend on me for that. People I'm trying to really build up in and invest in. And then I've also got all of my family here in one spot, which, you've got elderly and stuff like that. A lot of my elders and stuff in my family are up there in their 80s. I'm not really huge about getting away from my family and stuff at that stage in life, because that's just something that's really important to me. And I also understand, that they won't be here forever. So I try to spend that time wisely with them as I can, because, I may look back in years and stuff, and if I went away, I might feel regretful that I wasted that time that I spent with my family or didn't spend with my family. Going down a lot of different paths in life, it's definitely led me to spin my wheels on certain things, and I've found certain things that I'm good at, certain things I'm not good at, but I'm definitely at a stage in my life right now where I know what's important to me, and I've spent the time to develop what I'm good at to, be at a high level with it. And, I feel like one of the best things I could do with those skills is take them somewhere else. I already understand that they're not really valued here by the people around me. And I mean, some of the people even close to me, sometimes I feel like they take it for granted. I think other places is definitely skills that's in high demand. And when you look at pretty much, historical figures, right? Which historical figures were just loved and adored where they were from? It's not a large amount of them, it's kind of a rare thing. In my younger years, I kind of disagree with that. I'm like, you can stay here and you can be successful and you can build what you want to build here, but I'm in a stage of life now where I feel like I resonate more with the people that, got away from here. And I have a lot of respect for the people that got away from here and took the steps necessary to get away from here, because I live in a place that's kind of gone down the drain at the end of the day, unfortunately, because I do love where I'm at, and I think there's good people here. But as far as success, it's like you kind of got to go away to get that. There was a period of time in my life where I spent a lot of time working on the road, and that was for the agriculture industry. Love to make a video about that and tell y'all some more about what that is like. Let me know if y'all like to hear more about that. But what I'll speak to right now is that's my biggest experience probably from being away from home. So, living out of hotels, living out of suitcases, it can be fun at first. It's fun at first. You're out there adventuring and, going places where, hey, nobody will probably ever see you again. You're meeting new people every day. You get to interact with a lot of different people and cultures and stuff like that. And that can be really cool. But, I'm the type of person where I kind of got a little homesick off that. That was definitely my longest stretch of time being away from home ever, was working on the road. And we'd be gone for a couple months at a time. And it's fun work. It was hard work. We made a lot of money. It was definitely one of those situations where I couldn't wait to get back home. But, once you get back home, there's not a whole lot of, you tell the story of where you went, what you did, and then it's back to the same everyday life here, And people always try to give me the advice of just pack up and move on. But when you've got family and stuff like that, when you've got stuff like, my gym that I'm working on and stuff, and not as importantly the gym, but the people that are at the gym, I can't just pack up and leave those people that, we've kind of got a dedication to each other and stuff. It makes it more complex than just leaving. I've talked about in other videos how it's important to be light on your feet to maneuver life, and I also loop that back to boxing. But, I guess this is one of those situations in life where I'm not really light on my feet. I'm kind of planted right where I'm at, and I guess I got to kind of stay in the pocket and battle it out just to be happy at home, I think the reality of the matter is I'd really like to be in a situation where I could train with more champions and up and coming champions and stuff like that, because I really feel like I'm one of the best at what I do. The world just doesn't know who I am yet, and it's kind of hard for the world to get to know who you are in a small place like this with limited opportunities, and people with less skills, less talent, and less drive. They want to see you stay down, because if you went up and were real successful at what you do, that's just going to make them feel even lesser at what they do. So of course they're going to put you down when they know that they're not as good as what you do. And that loops back to what the arena means, guys, and what this channel means. And I've talked about it multiple times. I don't promote this channel at all to any of my traditional social media. I'm not really sharing my name with y'all on here, anything like that, or promoting as my name, although it is my initials. The main goal of this project, guys, is to tell my story to a world of people outside of what's here at home, guys. Because like I've said, the prophet's not loved at home, but I'm trying to share my story with the world, and hopefully there's people out there that want to listen to it, because I feel like I've got a really good story to tell. And I always say the story is just as important as the glory. I don't want to sit here and discuss my story with people in the hometown and stuff like that, because you've known me forever, and my story's not that impressive to anybody around here, because they've seen it and witnessed it and probably either undermined it or undervalued it. There's a song I always really vibed with in some of like the deepest and darkest times I felt, and it's Home by Kanye West. Common sings like a really poetic intro into it. That's just a really poetic guy right there. But, he kicks it off where home is where the hate is. I don't think he's lying. I think home is where the hate is. I think home is probably where you'll find the most people that would love to see you just stay right where you're at. They don't want to see you above them financially or success-wise, anything like that. And I don't mean home as in family, although sometimes it could be family. Like I spoke on in the Doubters video, there's a lot of people that don't want to see you reach your true potential. And I think a lot of those people are probably in your hometown. I think you'll probably get a lot more support from people that don't know who you are. I think there's probably great people in this online community that I look forward to connecting with, that probably have a similar story or are out here trying to live their life to the fullest, and I hope that we can connect together. If a prophet's not loved in his hometown, I really don't know what that means for me. I think it means at some point in life, I've got to step away from here. There's never a right time to do things. People always say, I'll wait for the right time. There's never a right time to do anything in life. You just have to take a leap of faith, try to figure out either how to sink or swim, But I applaud anybody that is left behind their hometown or anything like that and search for something better for themselves, or, you know, their own happiness and success and stuff like that, because it's not easy. It's not easy to leave your family behind. It's not easy to make those choices, you know, but I think if we really look at history, it shows, you know, one of the best things you can do, get away from those people that have always known you, get away from the places that limit you, and without a doubt, get away from anybody that is not believing in your capabilities, guys. Anyways, the prophet's not loved in his hometown. This has been The Arena with SEADUB. I hope I'm not talking in circles or anything like that, but I love y'all, and if y'all found me on here, I hope to connect with you, and we'll do this again the next time. Peace.